Anya, your character, Casey, she's quite an isolated girl, quite a loner.
Yeah.
How did you prepare to get into her mindset?
I mean, I think I prepared differently for each of my characters, and, you know, Casey was no different from that. I spent a lot of time in her head. You know, I could hear her voice, but she and I are very different people, and so I had to kind of understand how she thought about things, how her past influences, you know, the baggage that she brings to certain situations or the choices that she makes. I also talk a lot, so I practiced being silent, which is not something I do very often. But she has such a rich internal world that it was kind of peaceful to spend time within her.
You also get to act alongside James McAvoy and to watch him transform into these different personalities.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Madness, like absolute beautiful madness, because he is such a talented man. Forget the fact that he's unbelievably nice and wonderful and funny, but he is such a talented actor that you can really see who you're talking to and feel who you're talking to just from the look that he gives you. And that, as you know, the person that you're the person that's playing opposite him, was just the biggest gift, because you could feel so natural and at ease, and it really felt like a kind of tug of war. You know, he would give a little bit and I would step back and we'd go back and forth like that, but it was unbelievable, and I learned so much from watching him. He's just such a talented man.
And working with M. Night Shyamalan, or Night as we know him, did you have any expectations about going into that? What was that like?
No, and I think I didn't have any. I try never to have expectations, because you never know the situation you're walking into until you're, you know, faced with it and you're living in it. But he's so charming in person, and he's such a nice man, and I mean, like, as a friend, I absolutely love him, and as a director, we work very similarly. We can really tap into each other's brains, and I kind of know what he's thinking a lot of the time, and so that felt very easy to do. And also, he has such support for you as an actor. I really felt like I could go off the wall and open myself up in any way, shape, or form, and he'd be there to catch me.
And for the audience, I mean, this is kind of a return to form in a way.
Yeah.
They know what to expect. I mean, what do you think they'll get out of it? It's not a traditional genre kind of film.
No, I think a lot of people would be surprised that it's quite funny. Or at least I laughed a lot, and the audience that we saw it with in LA laughed a lot. It was awesome to see it with an audience. It's always, you get a buzz from it. But I would go in very open-minded, allow the story to take you to where it's going to take you, and try not to have any expectations, and try not to read spoilers, because I think that that's actually something that would really mess up the movie experience for you.
Because he is the king of the
surprises. Yeah, and in this movie it's interesting because he peppers in these little bits of information. I think it's a film that's quite interesting when watched twice, because it's a different experience when you see it knowing and when you see it not knowing. And so, yeah, I love this film. I'm really proud of it.
The subject matter, though, it's quite interesting because it's not just a normal, your usual creepy thriller supernatural. Yeah. It delves into what the human mind is really capable of.
Exactly.
I mean, do you believe that if you believe something, it will come true? It happens? Have you seen that happen in your life at all?
I mean, I definitely believe in the law of attraction. I definitely believe in not playing small with the universe, you know, taking your place and saying, this is what I want and this is, you know, how I'm going to achieve it. But I definitely think you don't get anything just by wishing. You have to wish, and then you have to add dollops and dollops of hard work.
I know you were born in Miami, but you've been living in Argentina and England and all of that. Does that play towards the characters that you're drawn to, these outsiders who are not quite here or there in a way?
Mean, yes and no. I don't intellectualize it in that way, but I can definitely see a parallel to it. What I find more interesting is how having a childhood and, you know, a life that's been so all over the place, it's definitely prepared me for acting, because I'm no place for a long period of time. I make my home wherever the movie is, and my only real home is set. Like, that's where I feel at home, that's where I feel comfortable, and that set can be anywhere in the world. And so I'm very grateful for my parents for kind of preparing me in that way.